So we have with us Jacob, Hannah, and Adam, who all graduated last year. They're all rock stars in the pack shop, all doing a various bit of jobs. Do you guys want to introduce what you did and who you are and all that shenanigans?
Sure, I'd love to start the introductions, I guess. Uh, I'm Hannah. I was a TD for Front Row Theater Company for probably a little far too long, but that's okay because it was a fun job anyway. Um, Mostly a sound designer, kind of ran the gambit just for funsies. And I'll popcorn to Jacob.
Hi, I'm Jacob. During my senior year, I was the TD for Penn Players. Before that, I was master carpenter for a bunch of different shows across Tacky, different groups, and yeah, I'll pass it over to Adam.
Hi, I'm Adam. During my junior year, I was the TD for Penn Players, and then I was Tacky chair during senior year, and I did a ton of set design, way more than I should have, but I spent a lot of time in the shop.
Well, thanks everybody. So what advice do you have for someone who it's their very first show, they got handed TD or Master Carpenter because they were the incoming freshman or sophomore and the only one gullible enough to do it? What is your like number one tip for them?
I can speak because I was definitely that person during my freshman fall. My freshman fall, I was the master carpenter for a production of Spring Awakening that Players was doing. And I came into Penn like not really having much experience at all in like building stuff. Like I knew like a little bit from high school, but like really not at all. So I did kind of end up in the role of master carpenter without really knowing what I was getting myself into. And I did feel very kind of overwhelmed and afraid at first. Like I was gonna ruin the whole show by not building a set. So like my biggest advice is just like, it will be okay no matter what, it will be okay. When I was at Penn, like I saw a lot of shows, they all had a set, every single set was really cool. So like it always comes together in some capacity. It'll all work out. And yeah, I can keep on going, but I'll give Adam and Hannah a chance to go as well.
And I definitely think along the way of getting to everything will work out. Stuff will go wrong. Stuff, no matter how much you plan for it, and you can be as organized as possible and draw out everything, but definitely being flexible when things go the way that you don't really want them to, or you have to deal with designers in a way that you weren't really expecting. So yeah, definitely just being flexible and keeping an open mind throughout the whole process.
I guess I'll go. I guess my advice, more on like the practical side, is use your resources. Like there's a lot around PAC that they have, especially Amanda and Michelle are literally walking, talking resources, and they'll just get you on the path if you're completely lost. And just kind of be honest with yourself and like what you feel you can do. Because even if you can't build the most like structurally complex set, that's okay. And honestly, it might save you and your set crew a lot of heartache, even if you can't. Just because it's so much easier to go into something knowing about what your ability at that moment is, and like feel free to dream big to improve, but don't feel like you have to be something you're not. So at the end of the day, it'll make you feel better and probably the whole crew feel better too.
Thanks. Adam, I'm gonna put you on the spot as a set designer. When your set has to change because of XYZ or director or me saying no, what's the best way to adapt to that and still keep your vision alive?
What? I've never had a set change because you told me now. Yeah, I definitely think when those moments happen, because they will, definitely ask yourself what's important and what is it about this idea that I really like, and not necessarily in the literal, but like everything should tie back to the show and to the script and to the story. So if you can find a solution that retains your vision of say you wanted to build really giant walls, but that's impractical, so then you say, okay, I want to evoke the feeling of giant walls. So how do we do that? And maybe you can do that through lighting, and kind of box people in different ways. So you can kind of evoke the same atmosphere that you were going for, but you can work around the challenge of whatever what the impractical thing was.
Awesome, thanks. Jacob, master carpeting. So you're fighting for space in the shop and you don't think you're ever going to get your set done. And you're out of lumber and your stress level is like 1,000. How do you navigate like sharing space in the shop and be like, oh my gosh, I'm missing that one piece of lumber that I need to finish this set that Adam designed?
Yeah, I think communication is key. That means like with people on your set crew, with people in other groups, people like Amanda and Michelle running a tech shop, as well with like their TD, like just like talk to people. Like if there's like this one piece of wood you really need, just like ask for help. In my experience, people are always willing to help you out and will help you out. So really just like reach out and it's all of Tactile Pack is just one big kind of community trying to help each other have like the best drills we can. So just like ask for help if you need help. And people will be there to help you out.
Hannah McKay load-ins. What's the best way to load in?
Well, coming prepared is definitely like the biggest trick in the book. There's many groups who've learned the hard way that like you should order your U-Haul very much in advance. Trying to go day of is not fun, and it might lead to everyone having to carry everything to wherever you are. And I can say that from experience, they will hate you. Well, not hate you. They'll strongly dislike you for at least a week. Other than that, just kind of also making sure if you feel like you can't be the only point person, usually a good piece of advice is to have at least 2 point people, whether it's you as a TD, a producer, and like your master carpenter, your set designer there. Usually you're kind of looking at a trifecta I always tried to use of me, Adam, Jacob, because they knew the set better than everyone else. It could be big leaders, and then I could help with a U-Haul and have someone who knew how to like pack a U-Haul downstairs. So really making sure to have a good team in place is really important, because everyone else is kind of just going to follow along to 4 or 5 loud voices in the room. So as long as you have those there and you can feel comfortable and like kind of be a floater, you're usually pretty good.
Cool. Adam or Jacob, whoever wants it. Strike. How do you strike and not be here until 4 in the morning?
Adam, you want to go first?
I was gonna say you could, but I would definitely say the strike and load into, but they really shouldn't be afterthoughts, when you're designing and master carpentering. You should really kind of factor in those timelines and those processes into kind of everything, as you're going. Also definitely make a plan during the week how you're gonna get rid of the set at the end of the week. I remember Jacob and I had many conversations like staring at a set like, okay, that part starts first, then we can have a team doing this. And yeah, definitely good to speed it up as much as possible.
Yeah, I'll also add that I think it's important to get everyone involved in the strike process. I think, like after your last show, everyone's like really excited, probably really tired, but I think just doing your best to like keep everyone engaged with strike and making sure like everyone has a job, is doing something, it'll go a lot faster. And I would say also that while like speed is important, also like safety is probably even more important. I think it's very easy on that last day to get kind of sloppy and like, oh, maybe takes a tall stretcher down faster than you should, but like safety is most important. So take your time with the things that really need to be safe and secure.
Absolutely. Safety is very important. And also like, don't take a staircase apart from the bottom, take it apart from the top, things like that. Cool. So does anyone have any questions for these 3? Cool. I'm gonna let you guys, if you have anything else you want to add to like how to TD, how to MC, how to not hate your life during tech week, impart your wisdom.
I'll say one of my like biggest things that maybe she said earlier as well is like it really is all about the team. Like it sometimes feels like it's all about you to do everything yourself, but really you have so many people around you who can support you, especially with like say master carpenter and a set crew, like having or making sure your set crew like is engaged and having fun with the set building process, but like make the whole thing so much better for everyone, because then it's like not all on you. People actually want to come to shop hours to come help you out and really just like having like, even if it's just like 2 other people or 3 other people who want to like come every single week to help you out, it'll make such a huge difference. So really just like put the time into like teaching your team how to do stuff, making sure they enjoy shop hours, stuff like that. It'll go a long way in the end.
Since Adam and I are playing chicken, I guess I'll go, and then it can go to Adam. One advice I always tell people is if you feel like you're not doing very well, obviously reach out to Amanda and Michelle as soon as you can, but also don't be afraid to like fake it till you make it, because there's a lot of times you're going to get asked questions you're not going to know, or by someone whose like tech expertise is not your own. Like, be upfront about it and be like, okay, I really don't know, but I'm going to like research into it or something like that. And just like have the confidence to kind of be that point person. And it does take time and practice, but once you get there, being a leader is kind of about honesty and admitting where your faults might not be. And so just helping them get the confidence is honestly one of the biggest parts of any of the tech jobs, is helping other people be like, okay, we can do this. Because sometimes it's very big of a feat, and it just takes one person to kind of see it and believe it, and then the rest falls in line.
This is a little bit more specific advice, just when you're, trying to tackle a show, that some shows can just be absolute monsters on paper, and you read through and it's like, and then a school bus comes on. And so then you're like, how the heck are we going to build a school bus? But for most of these shows, you don't have to. And, you can say, well, we don't need this school bus, but maybe they just walk around like in backpacks, and, they just like, step off a little stairs, and then, that's the school bus off stage. So, definitely like take shows and the scripts with a grain of salt, and, don't make your life difficult for when it doesn't need to be, and talk to directors, and, on a broader scale, just, use the resources that you have, and, be careful not to bite off more than you can chew.
All right, one more question. It's a fun one to end on. What's your favorite shop memory?
I have too many. I need to decide. Okay, someone else go first.
I can go. Mine were the long, arduous hours. Oh, Adam's dark now. Oh, sorry, dark. Anyway, were the long, arduous hours of having to do FTC's NSO show. Like being there in like the sweltering heat with people, like you bond very quickly. And Adam has a few photos from there that I wish he would delete from his phone. They are going to ruin any chance of running for office that I have, but there's some really fun memories. So that's going to be it.
Yeah, I also have too many to choose from, but one that comes to mind is my junior fall. I was working on the show Urinetown, and we were building, a big part of this was this like kind of angled bridge thing that connected like a 6-foot platform, an 8-foot platform, or something like that. And to be honest, the whole time we were building, I was kind of afraid it wasn't going to actually like stand up. But near the end of the building process, we kind of did a trial run in the shop. We put the whole bridge up just to see if it would work, and it actually did work. And that was like a really cool experience. And I know we were all really proud of it because we've been working on it for such a long time. So I think that was kind of a cool moment where like this thing that seemed impossible at first actually like came up, stood up, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I think I have to go with, actually, I think for the same show that Hannah was talking about, I used to love working on the NSO shows, because your whole day was just in the shop and, working, and you didn't have to worry about class, and you didn't have, other extracurriculars or homework to do. So you could just spend hours on end, and, there were no other shows in the shop, so you could take over the whole space, which Amanda and Michelle used to love. But it's a really cool chance to just kind of work on a lot of different pieces at the same time, and you make things happen much faster because you don't have to worry about like only going in at certain hours. So yeah, that was always the best.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.